Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. We've been away for 2 weeks. We know you missed us. It was an international
Yes,
break for us. Like, I
we are
mean,
very
what do you want
missable.
from us?
We are
Yeah,
very
we're
missable.
very miserable. And I mean, we wanted to intentionally make you guys miss us a little bit because, that makes the heart go fonder. So I'm pretty sure it's done the job. It's definitely done the job for me. Adeel, I miss you, bro.
I miss you too, bro.
Yeah, it's not like we didn't talk,
Yeah,
but I still
yeah,
miss
but
you on
yeah, I
this
think
front.
it was a good break. I think uh, surprisingly, I've had people ask me, uh,
Yeah.
why aren't you guys doing any more videos? And where's your this thing? So I was like,
Oh, nice.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
I was just testing. I was just
Yeah,
testing if you guys are paying
yeah,
attention.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So it's good to be back, and we got loads to talk about. So let's
Oh
get
yeah.
into it.
Yeah. Let's get straight into it. What the
Yeah.
hell is going on at Man City? It is absolute shambles. I do not remember the last time I have seen a top flight team have this kind of downfall. I mean, we've seen Chelsea come down. We've seen Manchester United come down. I mean,
Yeah.
we've even seen Liverpool come down. But
Mm.
the run of games and the number of defeats, what is it, nine winless games in the past 12
Yeah,
games?
something like that. Yeah.
That's the worst record of all of the big teams. I think I'll speak for Liverpool because this is something that I do know. The last time Liverpool had that kind of run was 1954. The
Wow.
last time Manchester United had this kind of run was, I think, probably somewhere in the late 80s, early 90s.
No idea. No idea. No idea. No,
And
never.
yeah,
No. Not it can't be 90s because Sir Alex never had this. He never had
I guess.
9 losses on the trot.
Well, he was winless, right? So,
Yeah.
it's not 9
No,
losses, but
and the
it,
worst thing is, there are like maybe 1 or 2 draws in there. They've lost those games. They've not
they've lost the
drawn.
majority.
They've lost those games.
Yeah.
So that's alarming. Plus, although, I'm happy that City is dropping points, being our rivals and stuff.
Fantastic.
But now it has come to a point where I feel sorry, not for City, but for Pep Guardiola. Because no matter what you say about City spending millions and those cases and everything, Pep Guardiola had actually revolutionized football, right? He's one of the better managers, one of the best managers we have around. And to see him suffer in such a way, probably it's a test of his mental strength as well, because if this is something that he's never faced before. This is something that he has never faced. So it's a test of his character as well, on how he comes out of this and how he gets his team out of this. So it's a real test of character.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. It definitely is a test of his character, but I think it also speaks volumes about just the kind of league that Pep Guardiola is playing in. This is not the German league. This is not the Spanish league. This is the Premier League. And in
Bro,
the
I don't
Premier
think you
League,
need to remind him that he's won past 3
well, see,
league
that's
titles.
exactly my point. That's exactly my point. He's been here for what, 8 years? 7, 8 years? Well,
yeah.
more than that.
Yeah,
right? So, and he's only seen success at his time here. I don't think he went a season without a trophy. Yeah, maybe there was one season in there where he didn't in the beginning when he was trying to instill his style of play. I remember that was a time where everyone scrutinized him.
I can't recall.
And but he was stuck to his guns, and he said, it's either my way or the highway. And he saw that much success, and if I'm Pep Guardiola after 5 years or 6 years at City, I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm the king of the world. Literally nobody can touch him. And then you get found out, right? So, so I think I might be giving it away a little bit, but I wanted to spend some time for us to kind of analyze the situation. What's actually happening, Adeel? Because there are a couple of things, a couple of ideas floating around my personal one is that he's been found out. I think it doesn't matter. And then obviously the other one is there's no Rodri. I somehow don't seem to digest that, because how can one player make that big of a difference, right?
Not possible. No, and if that is actually the case, that this is all happening because that one player missing, then there's something seriously flawed about his system. Then
exactly.
So
you're absolutely right.
But I personally think that there's some mental fatigue in those City players. Not physical fatigue, there's mental fatigue. Probably they've become a bit lethargic. They've been so used to winning that they feel that it is their right when they step on the field, and probably they're not putting as much effort in things they're doing, or they switch off at wrong times. Their recruitment has been pretty abysmal over the past season or two. They've let amazing players like Alvarez, Mahrez leave, and they've not got replacement. Like, if Haaland gets injured tomorrow, they don't have a decent backup. As far as I remember, as far as I'm aware, they don't have a decent backup. They've gotten Savinho, they've got Doku on the wings, who are both very, very good wingers. But this is an aging team, and if players are feeling, by the virtue of their past performances, if they can walk into the first playing 11, then that's a fault. You should have competition within the team for places, and no one should feel like they deserve a place. They should work hard to get into the starting 11.
Yeah.
Their defense situation. See, right now he has Gundogan playing in the position where Rodri plays, but Gundogan is no Rodri. He should have had a young player fighting for Rodri's position, learning from Rodri and building on that to be a future starting player for the club. So I think that's where Pep lacks a little bit, where he's not really developing players. He buys an almost finished article. Like maybe someone who's already 85-90% of his potential and who fits into his system. He buys the player rather than developing a player. And so I think that's where he lacks.
Just bring it on that. Like, I'm very glad that you brought that topic up, because I wanted to bring it up as well. I'm just gonna name a few players, okay? That I've left City over the past 3 or 4 seasons that have gone on to become, like starters for some really big teams. Jadon Sancho, okay? I know it's not gone well for him at United, but
Jadon Sancho was long time.
Yeah.
Was really long time.
No, that's what I mean. He was sold, right, to Borussia Dortmund, and like, look at the player he is today. I mean, I'm not saying
problem. No, I don't doubt it. I agree with you. On that.
So, obviously Cole Palmer, I think he should have taken over from De Bruyne, and he should have never been let go. But he had ambition and so on and so forth. Liam Delap, very recent. You're not going to believe this, but Pedro Poro used to play.
City. I know.
City.
Well, to be honest with you, I think Pedro Poro, if just because of the guy who's playing in his position at City, Pedro Poro does not displace him. But yeah, I know for the sake of rotation, they could have kept. But then that's the thing, right? The problem is.
I mean, you're telling me Kyle Walker right now is better than Pedro Poro?
Yeah, any day, bro. Any day. Really? Kyle Walker is better. Yeah. Of course.
No. Today. I'm talking about
today. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're talking about form, that's a separate story. But if you compare player to player, yes, I'll take Kyle Walker any day.
End of the day, form is what creates the the player over.
But how would you bring a player back into form by playing him? You can't make him sit on the bench and expect him to come back to get his form back. Player will only come back in form once he plays.
But Kyle Walker is playing.
But that's what I'm saying. But Pedro Poro, for his sake, he sees Kyle Walker in front of him. So obviously he wants to play more football, first team football with Kyle Walker. Put yourself in his shoes. That if I'm seeing someone where I probably have almost no chance to play, to be week in week out starting player for a team, I'd rather move to a team where I can be a starting player. And I think that has happened with most of the players because Guardiola or his staff do not cannot give that affirmation to the players, and I think that's why Sancho left, that's why Palmer left, and that's why Pedro Porro must have left, because these players wanted more first team football. And they were not getting that at City. And I understand because the level at City is playing, but then again, I think there has to be and now I think now with five substitutes being allowed, I think teams can have more of their academy players getting more taste of first team action. I think managers should look into that if they're looking into long-term health, financial health of their clubs. Because if you get players from your academy, a good player, I mean, if someone like Palmer, if he comes to the City have solved the problem which they will face once De Bruyne leaves. They're gonna have a problem, but I think Palmer would have sorted that role for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then again, I know
there was one more name in there as Romeo Lavia, who would have helped with the Rodri situation, obviously, right?
Yes.
So anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you look back, like every big manager made a player. Like, Mourinho had made Drogba, right? Sir Alex Ferguson, Cristiano Ronaldo, right? Jurgen Klopp made Lewandowski. And I wouldn't say he made Salah too, because Salah was probably, like
Salah was already gaining experience there. He was,
yeah. So he didn't really make him. So all of these really big, influential managers made big players, right? They helped transform players, make them into superstars. Guardiola has always wanted, a fat paycheck to solve his problems. He's never gone to the academy and what's the point of having such a great academy if you can't go and fetch a few players? Recently, there were a few players that came out of the academy. Rico Lewis, who seems okay. Oscar Bob.
Yeah, he's good as well. He played in the Charity Shield against United, or was it FA? I can't remember. But he looks like a decent player. But unfortunately, I think he got injured. I think he's injured right now.
I'm not sure what's going on with him right now, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm fearful for these really good players' careers, because let me tell you, they're probably gonna get sold to like a lower tier club, and they're gonna make great careers of themselves. Instead, what they could really do is become that rotating door in the academy, which into the first team of a conveyor belt of players, so they can then not have this perpetual problem of having to dig deep into their pockets and buying the players that they would want. So, and that's why, I think Guardiola is a great manager. And for me, he's not the best manager, simply because of that reason, because the first and foremost, like when I have a manager walk into the door, the first and the foremost thing that I would expect a manager to do is take the players that I have right now and make them play in the system or make them win games. He cannot do that walking into any club. He will need his own players. He will need, all that stuff. He will not be able to transform the player into the mold of, whatever it is, the identity of the club or whatever, et cetera, right? So that's my only, take with, and so, going back to this whole situation of, what's happening with Guardiola and what's happening with Man City, I think the 115 charges led to City sort of reining in the spending a little bit over the past couple of years. And so they didn't invest in the squad as much as they would have liked to in terms of a midfielder, what have you. And so now they're suffering on the back of that lack of spending. Because, I mean, the past couple of years, who have City really bought? Jeremy Doku, to your point. The Savinho, right? That's another guy that's been bought. And then other than that, and by the way, they're both offensive signings, right? Defensively, who they're really bought in. I don't think there is anybody there except
Guardiola.
Nunes.
They got Guardiola.
Yeah, but he's a left back. I mean, sorry, more from midfielder who can, obviously be a good back.
No, bro. He's a proper center. He plays center back for Croatia.
No, I know. But he plays left back for City.
Yeah, but he can play center back or left back. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, I meant more for defensive signing in the midfield. I know Nunes was brought in to fill that void, but that he hasn't really helped in the past. What we've seen City do is buy 3 or 4 players, and then maybe 1 or 2 of them fill the gap, right? So I think the fact that they're not buying as much as or spending as heavily as they used to is affected them, and I think before the 115 charges come in, they'll already be in a state of disarray, and I think they're truly getting found out, which is the low block and break them on the transition, which a lot of the teams have been doing with Man City. They actually, I think they're at a point. The confidence is so bad when I was watching the Aston Villa game. And by the way, what a fucking game from Morgan Rogers! Oh my god, that's another guy. By the way, he was a City academy player, Morgan Rogers.
Right. Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and obviously they've let him go to Middlesbrough at the time, and he did pretty well for Middlesbrough at the time, and then obviously he was brought up by Aston Villa, and like he was running the game, he was driving from midfield, like Johan Cruyff. Like this guy was like next level. He was basically hot knife through butter. That's the way he was penetrating through the City midfield.
Right.
And they're at a point right now, City, where the confidence is so bad that the transition is not the only thing that the teams are breaking City on. They're also breaking them on like just basic football, because that simple, football confidence is not there anymore. And
that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. I mean, they're out of gas. It feels like they're out of gas for some reason. But yeah, what's happening with them? Like for instance, I think the game was yesterday, right? City Aston Villa. For some reason, I wasn't even surprised that Aston Villa was winning.
Yeah.
Like I saw 2-0, I'm like, oh, okay.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more on that topic.
All the congratulations to Villa and Emery. I think he's done a wonderful job there.
Oh my god!
He's turned them into a force. Yeah, definitely. He has quality players in all positions. By the way,
he does. You know what? Even though he does have quality players in all positions, I think he's one signing away from making this club into a top 4 plus Champions League club. I truly feel that.
In which position?
That's exactly what I was going to come to next. I don't know what that position is, because they're stacked in defense, right? Maybe midfield. Right? Maybe midfield is that area, because they have Morgan Rogers, but they need somebody else.
No, they have this other guy as well, right? What was his name?
Yuri Tillmans?
They have Yuri Tillmans. No, this Jacobs? Was it Jacobs? Jacob Ramsey?
Yeah. Jacob Ramsey. I really like him as well, by the way, but I think he's been very injury prone of late. And that they've
got this guy, Scottish guy, McGinn.
Yeah, he's a fighter too. Yeah. So I think they've got that. He plays more of a wing, right? More for wing, more for a right midfielder.
He's like an old school kind of player where he'll just play wherever the manager asks him to play, and he'll give his 100%. He's one of those players.
Like
something in that mode. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that's
best moment of the matches.
Yeah, that's a great summary. I think in summary, I think both of us feel that City. Okay, so before we end this, let me ask you this: where do you see City finishing from here?
I think at the end of the day, I think they'll finish in top 4. Definitely.
You think so?
That squad has too much quality to finish anything below that now.
And it's not like he's in back this year, by the way.
No, that's fine. I think they can buy someone in January as a replacement. It's not like that window is done. And although they've lost so many points, but I don't think they're way off the top four. Just a second, I'm trying to get the table.
Bro, like they are way off the top four.
No, in terms of points.
Okay.
They're just 4 points
Fair
off the
enough.
top four, or of the fourth position. 4 points. And on fourth is Nottingham Forest. And the clubs above them are Aston Villa, Bournemouth, and Nottingham Forest. So, and these clubs are prone to dropping points. So it's not like it's a very difficult challenge for City to finish top four. They're just 6 points behind third position, bro. So, so it's not that much of a drop. So I think they will finish in top four. They have enough quality in that team to finish in top four, and I'm sure Guardiola, a manager of his pedigree, will definitely be able to get them out of this rut.
That's interesting. Okay, I think they will struggle to get in the top four. They might finish like fifth. I think the confidence in that team is close to zero. Everyone's pointing fingers within that squad right now. Unless they have like a groundbreaking signing in January that transforms their sort of confidence, in January, I think they'll probably finish fifth.
I think what doesn't help them also is that during this Christmas period, the games are being played like really quickly. If like it was German league or other league where you get a break, if they had this 2-week break, I think that would have done a world of wonder for them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But the Premier League schedule does not help them now.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's it from us.
As we said, discussed. So let's see where City ends at the end of the season. And Omar says that it's going to be outside top four, and I believe they will finish in top four. So let's just stay together and see where it is. And that's it on this topic. Please keep continuing to watch us, and please, your feedback is very important. Please tell us what else we could discuss, and we'll be more than happy to give our opinion on that. Thank you.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, please do.